Welcome to Chromatic Roses, where a couple of Midwest women cultivate a community at the D&D table. I'm Caitie.
And I'm Soren, and this week in the Rose Garden, we are talking about Bastions. No, not Sebastian Stan. Bastions, as in a place in your D&D world.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I did. So we are going to go through Bastions.
No, she did not, folks.
I know, I did. I liked it. So we're going to start with a definition. We're going to get into like what they are and what's the point. And then we're going to roll with it. And then at the end, we're going to talk about how they work. So yeah, just like strap in. This one's a little bit bulky. So we're going to start just Bastions, by definition, are player-controlled strongholds. And they were introduced in the 2024 rule set. So it is not, the new rules is not a new edition of D&D. This isn't D&D 6e. This is still D&D 5e, but there are some 2024 updates that have gone into it. So this is from that 2024 update. The purpose of them is to like deepen your attachment to the world that you're in, and gives you like more opportunity for downtime activities and just some like interesting relationship opportunities with NPCs and just all these kinds of things. It's just another way, another channel to dive deeper into your game one way or another.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to start by comparing Bastions to Strongholds. So Strongholds are from 3.5e. Similarly to Bastions, they're both physical locations that players can own and build. They offer some customization and function upgrades like labs, temples, guard towers, so on. And they can be a source of plot hooks. So like your stronghold could get attacked, could have visitors, you could have responsibilities within your stronghold. Key differences, the 3.5e stronghold is extremely gold intensive to build. And I don't have the like actual number of what it is that you would have to pay. There's some gold opportunities, or not gold, like money-based opportunities in Bastions where you have to pay a certain amount of coin to be able to add such and such.
Sure.
But in the 2024 rule set, it is automatically an option to have a Bastion at level 5.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, the DM / the party gets to work out how that happens. It might be that it's gifted to you. It might be that you come upon an abandoned such and such and are taking it over, but you don't have to like pay up front to have a Bastion.
TJ was talking with me about the one that he is working on. I don't know that he's introduced it yet in his campaign, but he described it as like an abandoned place that the players are going to find essentially, and then they will be able to make what they want out of it.
Yes. I saw some
like a clubhouse.
Like a clubhouse. Oh, here we go. So roll20.net has an article about Bastions, and they gave some examples about how Bastions can be acquired. Reward given as a quest reward or a gift from a powerful patron. Built, constructed from the ground up, possibly starting before 5th level. Captured, claimed after defeating its previous occupants, or rebuilt, renovating an abandoned or rundown structure. So that's one of the key differences between Strongholds and Bastions. Another one, Strongholds have an emphasis on construction logistics, whereas Bastions have an emphasis on mechanical and narrative payoff. Again, I don't have any experience with 3.5 Strongholds, so I'm not super sure where all that comes from. But the Bastions definitely are more like each room you get gives a boon of some sort that you are able to like utilize. Now you can forget about it and not utilize it, and then it's not helpful to you. But
Right.
the strongholds had some pretty extensive DM prep where bastions are more integrated into the rules, a little more streamlined. Strongholds often served high level play. Bastions support more mid level growth. So again, like bastions, you had to have a lot of gold up front, or not bastions, strongholds, you had to have a lot of gold up front. Bastions, you're given this opportunity at level 5, gives that more mid level growth, whereas a stronghold is more like, hey, I'm level 17. I'm rich and powerful.
I need a home now.
I'm going to build a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stronghold's more focused on power, fame, and status. Bastions focused on player agency and reward. I read this thing. Strongholds were like building a castle in Sim City, but Bastions are like building your dream HQ in a TTRPG. They're more cleaner, snappier, and more personal.
Snappier.
Okay, the other thing that I wanted to compare it to was Xanathar's Guide. Has some downtime logistics. So Xanathar's Guide to Everything in 2017. Like Bastions, it's designed to flesh out character time between adventures, includes things like training, research, running a business, things like that. Downtime can influence story and offer some minor rewards. So Xanathar's Guide to Everything has these downtime mechanics. It's very narrative driven. There aren't like, when I say mechanics, it's not really like capital M mechanics. Whereas Bastions have a little more systematic approach. Like there are bastion turns that happen in game that you do stuff with.
So there are like policies and procedures.
Yeah. Xanathar's downtime options were often a little vague or DM gated, whereas Bastions offer some pretty clear character choices that you can make on those turns. Downtime is often not repeatable or structured, whereas Bastions, again, run on a turn-based cycle. These downtime mechanics from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, there's no physical space. It's just like stuff you can do in between adventures, whereas this is like a literal place. So yeah, that's kind of how it compares to stuff that has already existed. The appeal to players, I think, one, it's like building a house in Sims.
Yeah.
So like there's like that. I also think, like Vox Machina, they got their Grayskull Keep after one of their first like on air arcs. And yeah, it does. It kind of gives them like a rooted place to be. They're rarely at it. Like it's not like they're constantly coming back to their keep. But it does give them like a place. Whereas I think a lot of times, even in like our campaign, it feels very nomadic. Like there's no place for us to really go back to.
We're wandering.
We're just kind of wandering from quest to quest. So I do enjoy that. It gives some narrative flair. Like I mentioned, there are some mechanical bonuses that you can get. As far as like role playing goes, I think it gives characters an opportunity for more like world building. Like it gives world building back to the players just a little bit. Giving us a way to say like, this is how our corner of this world looks like. And not only that, we'll get into this in a minute, but like there are some, like you could have a pub, for instance, and that pub has a bartender, for instance. And so on one of your Bastion turns, you could say, we task the bartender with collecting information about this crime syndicate or, whatever.
Yeah.
So it gives some interesting like faction alliances or like NPC deepening or just like general holistic world building that I think wasn't existing before.
I think while you were contrasting with Strongholds versus Bastions, I think one of the parts of Bastions that draws me in a little bit is that like, it's great to have an opportunity to have a place, like a home base to go to, and not have to be a mega rich D&D player to do it. And I think that could be a good opportunity for potentially like a new party, like a group of people who are new to D&D even, to help like strengthen their interest in the world building, especially if they're like kind of scared of D&D, not from like a let's overwhelm them with more information, but like let's give them some even more reasons to feel connected to what we're trying to build together. So, yeah, I like that.
I was kind of thinking about this whole thing. So like Prim had a temple, and that did end up kind of being a home base a little bit for our campaign. So that could easily have been, if we were using this new rule set, we could have made that into a bastion.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the mechanics of how that would have worked later. But this is just like, so Prim's temple was very like woody, and it was in a meadow, and like we would talk about like gardening it, and there's a little scamp of a goblin who would come in and steal her clothes and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, like that's kind of the visualization of what it can be. And we talked about kind of world building wise, how like the counters are lower because she's a gnome, right? So like everything
is to her size.
So like, yeah, like the ceilings are still as high as they need to be in order for anybody to come in it. But the counters are lower and all this. And like when you walked in, it was like this really open, grassy place. But then when you went in, like at the end of that like entryway, was the actual like place where she stayed. Very woody, very like earthy, and just gave like some character. So it could be something like that where it's like one character has this place that already exists. Like I had worked Kim's temple back into her backstory as something she had built, and then brings the rest of the party to, and we all use it as our own. Or it could be something where we all come up on a thing, or we all get rewarded this thing and we share it together.
I'm sure you are not surprised at all. I was like, I've drawn versions of Prim's temple several times, like in my notes throughout, but it's something that I just need to sit down with Caitie and be like, okay, bitch. What does this thing look like to you? Because I really do want to draw it or like digitally paint it someday, because it is, if it ever became a bastion, it would be the perfect place for it, because we've returned to it so many times, and it's such a pivotal. So there's so many like cool story beats that have happened either on the property or like in the building, and it's a great place.
It was a bastion without knowing it was a bastion.
It really was.
And like similarly, when we have played as Sorcatia, the Fading Fern Inn is kind of our bastion for that.
Yeah, I was gonna make a note, because TJ wrote us a note in our big document about like episode topics. His idea was talking about bastions from the new 2024 updates that you're reading. He said, how about making a bastion for Sorcatia, or making the Fading Fern as her bastion, and just like expanding on that mechanically. So maybe that's something that we can do in a future episode with like TJ on the pod or something like that, because that'd be fun.
To that point, ask you a question now.
Okay.
If you were to build a bastion in a game where like it's really aesthetic, like the aesthetics were the point of it's not the point, but were a big part of the campaign.
Hi, you're developing a video game.
What would your bastion look like?
I guess that feels like really broad. So I feel like I would have to pare it down to like the world that we're in,
Do you still have
space.
the mood boards from
Yeah.
our visual one? You should pick one from that mood board.
Let me go find one.
And if you're wondering what we're talking about, we did a whole episode on aesthetics in D&D and how to make characters that are aesthetic. So you can go look at that and you know what mood boards we're talking about.
And how to describe them. And like, I did a lot of word vomiting on like, here's how you talk about them. Here's some like ways that you can design them. Here, I love talking about that stuff.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the prompt for this one was stepping out of a fairy tale where the witches win. When we did this episode, we also we kind of talked around the idea of like, what does it mean for the witches to win? And like, is that good? Is that bad? Like, what kind of perception do witches have in this potential world? So as I was looking at all of the whiteboards we did, I think a place like this could apply. I think a couple of the whiteboards we did, those characters like could all be in a party together.
Right.
So I don't think that this bastion that I would create would necessarily apply to all of them, but certainly to this character. And maybe it was the seedy tavern boy that's like dressed really well and but you only find him in like creepy bars and stuff. So I'm thinking of like I'm definitely leaning towards like a Victorian or like steampunk type atmosphere world, fantasy world. And I think my brain started thinking of like Sweeney Todd-esque like mucky streets and like seedy taverns like lining the streets and Moulin Rouge type like neon signs, maybe some like broken signs that are kind of like hanging off of their like light poles and whatnot. But like nestled between like two really shitty bars is this like differently colored like house that's kind of just like plugged between it. Yeah, and I don't know that it would be straight up like Victorian, but I think it fits with the crappy bars, but it stands out enough that like it makes you go, the fuck is that doing there? But I really like I've seen tons of pictures from like Pinterest and just Google and whatnot of like really urban areas where they've been like fully developed, but there was that one person that was like, I'm not selling my fucking house. Right. And so you've got this like tiny house like wedged between these like big business buildings, and I think that would be really cool. Maybe it has like a terrace on top with like plants like falling over it. I'm thinking like lots of like, I don't know, neon lights, like I said, surrounding the area. So it kind of like a glow that's hitting the building, but maybe the building doesn't have any of its own like light source. Kind of sticking with like the purplies and the blues that are in this palette, because I think it looks really cool. But I can't decide. My brain's actively trying to decide if it's like a newer place or if it's broken down. So like either we've got a new, like not necessarily new, but like very well maintained paint. It looks nice, or it is falling into disrepair. I guess you could kind of decide which way you want to go depending on your party and like if it adds to your story or not. But I think inside, like mixture of not necessarily speakeasy, but like a library mixed with a tavern, with like big like dorm library tables, like you see in like the New York Public Library and stuff, and like little like where there's like banker lamps that are like sitting on top of the tables, like lining the way, so like people can come in, and like it's kind of like community space, probably a little bit of a guild hall. There are probably some like rooms upstairs, but I think it'd be really cool if it was like an information hub. So that's why I'll like it's more library focused. Yeah, I don't know. That's the start. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. We'll get into some of the like actual mechanics of how somebody would make something like that in the game here in a second. But before we do, let's roll with it.
I don't have my dice anymore.
Yeah.
It's in the living room.
Okay. We're doing an icebreaker today.
Oh, good. You know how much we love those.
Let's see. 15.
Amazing.
Okay, if you could magically become fluent in any language, what would it be?
My God.
Scottish Gaelic. Foreshadowing.
Which one's Gallic? Which one's Gaelic?
I don't know.
Okay.
Gaelic. I know they're different. I don't know the difference.
Me neither. That's why I'm asking. Gosh, that would be super cool. Something I enjoy about listening to Gaelic / like listening to Gaelic, both of those languages, is that I think the way that they characterized it in the movie Brave always makes me giggle because it just sounds like straight up nonsense.
Yeah, right.
But I think the like the actor and how he like aggressively does it is a great. I don't know that it's a full on characterization of the language, but it's a very cool language.
I've watched somebody, I think it's a Scot, who has pulled that and said, no, it is a language. He is speaking like actual words. Because I think the thought is it's actually just gibberish, like, but it's actually the language. And so like he like slows it down and like tells you what he's saying. And
it makes me think of when I was working for a company that does like princess parties. And I was learning how to be a Scottish princess. And I was learning how to like do a Scottish accent. And I actually didn't pull a lot of stuff from Brave, the movie specifically. Like I did some Outlander like research. I did a little bit of Brave research, but there was a scene in, of all things, the second Wreck-It Ralph movie where you have the scene with all the princesses and they're all in that like big slumber party room. And Merida has this line that sounds like nonsense. When you slow it down and you like just say the words, but you practice the rhythm, it's the rhythm that makes that language like so complicated and so like up and down and can feel aggressive because of the timbre and the rhythm. And it makes it really, really exciting when you accomplish saying something. So I could agree with that. I tangented and I didn't give my own answer. I would either pick French or I would pick Japanese. French, because I took it in high school. I really enjoy the language, but it is tough. A lot of the vowels are really tough, but it's one of those languages that like while I was learning it, it's very satisfying when you are able to successfully like pronounce things and do that well. And I feel the same way about Japanese, but the reason I would pick Japanese is because it is so dramatically different from English. And I'm really fascinated by their rhythm structure as well. So one of those two.
Yeah, very good.
Good question. Paige.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting into like some mechanic stuff about Bastions. Bastions, we've already mentioned, you get when you reach level 5. And again, like there's a million different ways that you could come up with about how you achieve this Bastion. Could be that you found it, could be that you were given it as a reward, could be you inherited it, could be that it already existed and your character built it beforehand.
That's what I was saying to TJ when he was telling me about his Bastion. I was like, oh, so you're like giving, like, well, not giving, but like you're introducing this broken down place to your players, you're Stardew Valleying them. Like they're going to fix it up and make it work and then turn a profit.
Shape, style, and function of a character's Bastion are up to the player to determine. For example, a wizard might build a tower, a cleric might establish a shrine, a fighter might build a fortified keep, a rogue might establish a guild hall or a lodge. Characters of other classes might choose one of these forms or combine them. A paladin's Bastion might be similar to a cleric shrine, but as fortified as his fighter's stronghold. And multiple characters can combine their Bastions to form a single large structure. I wanted to talk a little bit about the rooms. I want to go to basic facilities. So a character's Bastion starts with 2 free basic facilities, which the character's player chooses from the basics facilities list. One of the chosen facilities is cramped and the other is roomy. A bastion can have more than one of each basic facility. So, for instance,
sorry, go ahead.
The basic facilities are bedroom, dining room, parlor, courtyard, kitchen, and storage.
Okay.
And so one of those has to be cramped, and one of those is roomy. A basic facility comes with non-magical furnishings and decor appropriate for that facility. Basic facilities don't have any game effects. They can inspire role-playing opportunities to enhance a bastion's, verisimilitude. Good Lord, Dungeon Master's Guide.
I'm Googling that. Spell it.
VERISIMILI-tude.
The appearance of being true or real, which makes sense because vere or very is true in Latin, but similitude. Similitude.
Good Lord. Okay, so you get 2 of those rooms from the jump. You can add basic facilities, but adding basic facilities cost gold and time. So if you want to make a cramped room, another one, you can for 500 gold pieces in 20 days. Okay. Roomy is 1,000 gold pieces, 45 days, and vast is 3,000 gold pieces and 125 days.
Jeez.
Yeah. You can also enlarge basic facilities. So your cramped bedroom can become roomy for 500 gold pieces in 25 days. Or your roomy kitchen becomes vast by spending 2,000 gold pieces in 80 days. Beyond that, there are also things called special facilities. Special facilities are bastion locations where certain activities yield game benefits. A character's bastion initially has 2 special facilities of the character's choice for which they qualify. Each special facility can be chosen only once unless its description says otherwise. Unlike basic facilities, special facilities cannot be bought. A character gains them through level advancement. So at level 5, you start with 2 special facilities. 2 basic rooms, 2 special facilities. Then at level 9, you have 4 special facilities. At level 13, you have 5 special facilities. And at level 17, you have 6 special facilities. And there's like upwards of 30 special facilities to choose from.
It starts looking, it sounds like the Stardew Valley home, like when you get to look at the overlay, but it is sounding like a Sims house.
Yeah. Each special facility has a level. A character must be that level or higher to gain that facility. A special facility might also have a prerequisite that the character must meet to gain that facility.
So sorry, go ahead.
For example, only a character who can use an arcane focus or a tool as a spellcasting focus can have an arcane study. So a rogue couldn't just have an arcane study without having an arcane focus of some sort.
Okay, so then, like, say as we're building out this bastion, one character like has the level to acquire such and such a room. Does that mean like they are let's say they're the only character with that level? No one else in the party is there. They're the only person who can access that room? Is that kind of... And maybe we'll find out more in a little bit. But
I don't think it's so much access. It's about being able to have it.
Okay, so as long as there is someone in the party that meets the qualification,
I think that's
then we
correct.
can add that to the building. That makes more sense than what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But
special facility occupies a certain amount of space. A player can configure the squares of a special facility as desired on the Bastion's map. A special facility can be enlarged to grant additional benefits if its descriptions say so. So there's a section in here about Bastion map. Encourage players to create floor plans of their character's bastions, configuring its facilities as they see fit, and using the same techniques as you use to create dungeon maps. In addition to basic and special facilities, a bastion can have the following features. Closets. A basic or special facility can have one or more closet, washroom, or similar enclosures. The closets must be inside the facility and can't increase the facility's area in squares. These features are free. Corridors, ramps, and staircases. A facility can contain one or more corridors, ramps, or staircases leading to another facilities in the Bastion. These features are free. Defensive walls. A character can add defensive walls around their Bastion. A defensive wall is 20 feet high and may include a walkway along its top with a means to access it. Each 5-foot square of defensive wall takes 10 days to build and costs 250 gold pieces.
Wow.
If a character's bastion is completely enclosed by defensive walls and it becomes under attack, reduce by 2 the number of dice rolled to determine how many bastion defenders are lost in the attack.
That's starting to make me think of some of like the AFK type system management phone games where it's you own a horde of cats that are building this thing, and it's like, that's going to take 30 minutes. It's that's going to take 30 days to make that.
Each facility comes with one or more doors and shuttered windows placed wherever the player sees fit. These features are free. So it encourages the time that you decide that you're going to do Bastion feels a little bit like a session 0 to me, where we all sit down and we make our Bastion.
Yeah.
This is also suggesting that each character might have their own Bastion. Or perhaps you have a joint Bastion.
Sure.
There is a section here on combining Bastions. 2 or more players can combine their Bastions into a singular structure. Doing so doesn't change the number of special facilities of each Bastion can have, how those special facilities work, or who issues orders to each Bastion. Each Bastion retains its own hirelings, which can't be sent or shared with another Bastion. Bastion defenders are handled differently. If some event deprives one character's Bastion of defenders, another character can apply all or some of those losses to their Bastion instead, provided the 2 Bastions are combined. So I don't see, if this were me, my party would have a Bastion. Not each member of my party has their own Bastion.
I think
That's
so
crazy to me.
Because my other thought is I know this is a make-believe game. We can do a lot of crazy things you can't do in the real world, but my thought mechanically is but what if their Bastions exist in 2 different places? Are we just throwing them in a pocket dimension and then popping them out next to them so they can...
Right. I don't know. That just seems insane to manage to me. So I would probably just pool all of our resources and put a Bastion together for the party rather than for people individually.
Well, and then it kind of becomes a co-op, right?
Right. Hirelings. Special facility comes with 1 or more hirelings who work in the facility, maintain it, and execute Bastion orders there. As described, a player can assign names and personalities to hirelings in their character's Bastion. Each special facility in a Bastion generates enough income to pay the salary of its hirelings. Hirelings follow the orders that they're given and are loyal to the Bastion's owner. So, I mean, that's kind of nice as far as management goes. You don't have to think about paying these necessarily. We're just assuming that they're going to get paid, all that good stuff. So that it's available at level 5. Those are kind of the upgrades you can get. I'm going to talk a little bit later about the types of special facilities. Thoughts so far?
I had a thought that I could have included when I was talking about the theoretical aesthetic Bastion. I haven't played this game yet, but I want to. But it'd be really cool to use the game Tiny Glade to maybe build out the Bastion that you're thinking of making. I'm sure there are tons of map makers and simulators that can help you do that visually, but that just sounds like a cozy, fun thing to try to plug in and make a little Bastion for yourself and then show all your friends. I think we cleared up the question I had about does only this person get this room? This is my room. So that makes more sense now. I think those are the main thoughts I have up to this point.
I mean, the only other thing that and this I think is part of why they're suggesting that each person could have their own Bastion. And this is maybe something as a DM that you would work out, but you only get 2 basic rooms and 2 special rooms per Bastion, right? So if you have a party of 5 people and you only have a bedroom and a kitchen, so I guess in that case, maybe as the DM, I don't know that you would give everyone 2 special rooms, but maybe you give everyone a bedroom.
At least.
So like everybody gets a bedroom and then you can pick 2 basic rooms outside of the bedrooms. I don't know. Since those don't offer any like in-game advantage, I don't see why you wouldn't just like let them build out their basic rooms.
Yeah.
Aside from the like cramped to roomy to vast, like that whole thing, maybe you can work out some ways to like make that make more sense.
With like, I'm thinking about if we develop like the Fading Fern Inn with something like that kind of place needs a lot of rooms because like it's also going to be like a functioning like business where like people come and go. So like there, it seems like there's some room for rule of cool adjusting where you need to.
To some extent, I feel like that is the point, right? So if you're going to build this space, if this space doesn't already exist, maybe you start building it early on and then you by level 5 it's like ready to go, or it's mostly ready to go. If we're trying to make it as not, I don't want to say like realistic, but like as honest as possible, it's suggesting that you can build more rooms, but you have to build them for 500 gold pieces and it's going to take 20 days to do it. So like, I don't want to fully, if I were trying to run this section of the game, I wouldn't necessarily want to just like give you 25 bedrooms for nothing. If that's what we're doing now. However, if that feels like a nightmare, what it could be is you happen upon an abandoned inn and you refurbish it. So all the 25 bedrooms already exist.
And those get, you know, renovated to a standard. And then maybe as part of the Bastion mechanics, you get those rooms that are like laid out in the mechanics.
So there's some ways to like work around that, I think. So on a Bastion turn, so Bastion turns happen every 7 days of in-game time.
Interesting.
So every 7 in-game days, you take a Bastion turn. There's some things you can do on that turn, but you can slow the frequency of Bastion turns to better serve the needs of your players and your campaign. For example, if the characters have months between adventures, you can call for a Bastion turn every month instead of every 7 days, so the characters aren't issuing so many orders or reaping too many benefits all at once. So you can kind of take it as you need it. On a Bastion turn, a character in their Bastion can issue special orders called Bastion Orders to one or more of their Bastion special facilities. A character needn't issue orders to all the special facilities in their Bastion on a given Bastion turn. The maintain order is unusual. It is issued to the whole Bastion rather than to one or more special facilities. If a character isn't in their Bastion on a given Bastion turn, the Bastion acts as though it were issued the maintain order on that turn unless the owner can communicate with the Bastion hirelings using the sending spell or similar magic.
Okay.
So the maintain order is all Bastion hirelings focus on maintaining the Bastion rather than executing orders in a special facility. Issuing this order prohibits all other orders from being issued to the Bastion on the current Bastion turn. Each time the maintain order is issued, the DM rolls once on the Bastion Events table at the end of this chapter. Bastion events are resolved before the next Bastion turn. So maintain is basically like, I'm not there to tell you to do anything else, so you just need to make sure this place doesn't fall apart.
Business as usual default.
Right. Other orders could be craft. Hirelings in the special facility craft an item that can be made in that facility. During the time required to craft an item, the facility can't be used to craft anything else, even if the special ability allows the facility to carry out 2 orders at once. The hirelings have proficiencies with artisan tools as specified in the facility's description. Another order is empower. The special facility confers a temporary empowerment to you or someone else. Harvest. Hirelings gather a resource produced in the special facility. During the time required to harvest a resource, the facility can't be used to harvest anything else. Recruit. Hirelings recruit creatures to the Bastion. These creatures might include one or more Bastion defenders, whose main purpose is to defend the Bastion if it is attacked. The Bastion generates enough income to provide for the needs of its Bastion defenders. Research. Hirelings in the main facility gather information. Or trade. Hirelings buy and sell goods or services stored or produced in this special facility. So on a Bastion turn, you can do any of those things.
Yeah.
Special rooms, I'm not going to read them all, but I'm going to give you some examples. So for instance, at level 5, there's a handful of special facilities you have access to. Arcane study, armory, garden, library, sanctuary, workshop, all those good things.
Yeah.
Out of those, arcane study and sanctuary require a prerequisite. So arcane study, you have to have the ability to use an arcane focus or a spellcasting focus. Sanctuary, you need to be able to use a holy symbol or a druidic force as a spellcasting focus. So like those are very obviously for a certain type of player.
Yeah.
But for instance, an armory can trade, a garden can harvest, a library can research. So they each have different orders they can fulfill. Once you reach level 9, you've got options like gaming hall, laboratory, scriptorium, stable, teleportation circle, trophy room. There's only one level 9 room that has a prerequisite, and it's the sacristy, which is, again, a holy symbol, druidic force, something like that.
Okay.
There's a couple of places in those level 9s that have the option to empower, which is what we talked about in one of those orders you could do.
Yeah.
The only 2 that have the empower that I'm seeing are the theater and the training area. So either one of those places could empower you or another person. At level 13, you add options like archive, meditation chamber, menagerie, observatory, pub, or reliquary. Menagerie. The menagerie doesn't have any prerequisite, but it is the order it fulfills is recruit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes sense.
At level 17, you add demiplane, guild hall, sanctum, and war room. Demiplane. If you pick demiplane, you have to have the ability to use an arcane focus or a spellcasting tool. The order is empower. Guild hall, you have to have expertise and a skill. That's recruit. Sanctum is the holy symbol or druidic focus. That's empower. And war room, fighting style feature or unarmored defense feature, and that's recruit.
Jeez.
And so each of those rooms has like the skill card, you know what I'm saying? Like when
sure.
you have,
yep.
They have
it has a stat block.
Thank you. It has like a stat block.
Type. Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance, a arcane study is a level 5 Bastion facility. Its prerequisite is the arcane focus or spellcasting focus. It is roomy. It has one hireling and its order is craft. An arcane study is a place of quiet research that contains one or more desks or bookshelves. Okay. And then it can do the following things. Arcane study charm. After spending a long rest in your bastion, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast Identify without expending a spell slot or using material components. You can't gain this charm again while you still have it. Craft options. When you issue a craft order to this facility, choose one of the following options. Arcane focus. You commission the facility's hireling to craft an arcane focus. Book. You commission the facility's hireling to craft a blank book. Book. Or magic item arcana. If you are level 9 plus, you can commission the facility's hirelings to craft a common or an uncommon magic item chosen by you from the arcana table in chapter 7.
That's cool.
So each of those rooms has its own like block of stuff about it.
That's really cool. Is the highest level, like, is there a level cap on Bastions? Is it like 20? Like
17.
Players usually? 17? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's like, nothing happens after level 17. After level 17, you've got all the stuff.
You've gotten it. I'm not saying like you're not allowed, but like 17 is where it stops.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's kind of, let's talk about Bastion Events really quick. Immediately after a character uses the maintain order to their Bastion, the DM rolls once on the Bastion Events table to determine what event, if any, befalls the Bastion before the next Bastion turn. If an event occurs, the DM reads the event aloud to the player whose character controls that Bastion. All events are described in the sections following the table. The event is resolved immediately, with the player and DM working together to expand story details as needed. If the multiple characters issue the maintain order on the same Bastion turn, roll once on the table for each of them, resolving each event separately, even if the Bastions are combined. Bastion events occur only when the Bastion is operating under the maintain order, which often means the Bastion's owner isn't present at the Bastion at the time. That means these events can be opportunities for the player to take on the role of the Bastion's hirelings and roleplay their reactions to these events. The DM can even turn a Bastion event into a cutscene where each player takes on the role of one of the Bastion's hirelings under the guidance of the player whose character owns the Bastion. So Bastion events. It's a D100.
Okay.
Options are, if you roll a 1 through 50, all is well. And there's stuff to that. That's not there's tables beyond that. So.
Oh, okay, sure.
All is well is just the table you roll on.
Okay.
51 to 55 is attack. 56 to 58 is criminal hireling. 59 to 63 is extraordinary opportunity. 64 to 72 is friendly visitors. 73 to 76 is guest. 77 to 79 is lost hirelings. 80 to 83 is magical discovery. 84 to 91 is refugees. 92 to 98 is request for aid. And 99 to 100 is treasure.
So, like, listening to that, I love, like, thinking of the percentages, like the percent chance that you get any of that stuff, because all is well probably happen most often, but it also started to sound like the layout of a sitcom, and like how often these kinds of things happen and how often like bad stuff comes up, and that's really fun. I like that.
You don't have your dice. I was going to say I want to roll just to see what happens.
Sure.
Just like once or twice. Give us some examples of different things. I just need my D&D Beyond to stay. Come on. Okay, so we're going to start with a D100 to tell us what roll or what table we're going to roll on.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
So we got a 93. So a 93 is a request for aid.
Okay. Requires aid.
We're going to go down to the request for aid. So this one isn't a table. It just says, your Bastion is called on to help a local leader. Perhaps there's a search for a missing person or brigands are plaguing the area. If you help, you must dispatch one or more Bastion defenders. Roll 1d6 for each Bastion defender you send. If the total is 10 or higher, the problem is solved and you earn a reward of 1d6 times 100 gold pieces. If the total is less than 10, the problem is still solved, but the reward is halved and one of your defenders is killed. Remove that Bastion defender from your Bastion's roster. That's one. I really want to get one of the
lower one. Yeah. Statistically speaking, it shouldn't be that hard.
Well, I just got a 59.
Isn't that right outside?
59 is,
Is it attack?
It's an extraordinary opportunity.
Oh.
Your Bastion is given the opportunity to host an important festival or celebration, fund the research of a powerful spellcaster, or appease a domineering noble. Work with the DM to determine the details. If you seize the opportunity, you must pay 500 gold pieces to cover costs. In return, your bastion gains a sudden influx of recognition or attention, prompting the DM to roll again on the Bastion Events table, re-rolling this result if it comes up again. If you decline the opportunity, you don't pay the money and nothing else happens.
It's like, you might get paid in exposure. Give us money.
Yeah. I'm going to do it one more time.
Yeah, do it.
Oh my God. Well, we got...
I want to guess, like, what a potential, like, all is well is, like, primrose started growing in your front yard.
Oh. I think it's a little bit more than that. But
I figure that, but...
so yeah, we got all is well. So we're going to roll 1d8.
Okay.
1d8 is there. Roll. We got a 3. No vermin infestations to report.
See, it is like primrose are growing in your front yard.
Your options are accident reports are way down.
Way down.
Way down. The leak in the roof has been fixed.
We need that.
No vermin infestations to report.
Sweet.
You know who lost their spectacles again.
Hell yeah.
One of your hirelings adopted a stray dog.
Oh.
You received a lovely letter from a friend.
Yeah.
Some practical joker has been putting rotten eggs in people's boots.
How is that part of all as well?
And then someone thought they saw a ghost. So this also has a little section here, Bastion Tracker. Players can use the Bastion Tracker sheet as a record of the facilities and other characteristics of their bastion. Encourage your players to list their hirelings on this sheet and develop them more fully as NPCs on separate sheets, perhaps using the NPC Tracker. Similarly, Bastion Tracker provides space to indicate the space of each special facility, but encourage players to draw maps of their bastion. I'm just going to click on Bastion Tracker. Okay, so here, can I share my screen?
Please do. Woo!
So Bastion's name, character's name, level, basic facilities, special facilities, and notes. And that's kind of it. But it's a downloadable PDF you can get. Bastion Defenders. And so it's suggesting that you use this as a record of the facilities and then on a different sheet track your hirelings, NPC Tracker. Okay, I'll bite.
All right. Whoa.
I thought you'd take me right to it. What the heck?
What the hell?
Am I crazy?
No, it did say DM's toolbox, so maybe hit Control or Command F and look up NPC Tracker.
Flesh out NPCs who play prominent roles in your adventures. You can use the accompanying NPC Tracker. I'd love to. Where is it? There it is. Jesus.
Yay!
NPC Tracker, NPC name, stat block, and page, and then alterations alignment.
Oh, cool.
So it's basically saying, do this for all your hirelings.
Yeah.
And kind of track them as actual characters in your game.
That's kind of cool.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting... Bastions, man.
Yeah.
So to round out this whole thing, Bastions in play. If you wanted to integrate a Bastion into your existing campaign, I think you totally could. I think you would have to maybe work it out, like DM to player, about like where you start. If you just automatically if you're like a level 9, do you automatically get all the level 9 things? Right. So it maybe is a little bit of a conversation that needs to happen. And I do think that establishing this bastion, honestly, to do it thoughtfully, I think you need to take a session to do it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or at least part of a session. Like there needs to be time spent on talking about it and figuring out the mechanics. And honestly, having like I would want a very like open dialogue with the DM about like, are we each having our own bastion and combining them? Or are we all in charge of one bastion? How do we make that work?
What's cool? What's not cool?
Right.
What works? Mm-hmm.
And since this is relatively new, like probably going over the rules and making sure we all understand how bastions work and what we're going to do. And I don't think there are certain campaigns that are better suited for bastions than others. I think the way they've set this up, it's pretty easy to meld into whatever it is you're working on. Or whatever campaign you're in. I think it's easy to paint in any one way or the other. I mean, if you're truly a nomadic adventuring party, maybe that's the one campaign that this doesn't make a lot of sense for. Sure. Or I might even say like shorter form campaigns are maybe not where bastions make sense.
Yeah, because if it's I'm sure somebody out there on the internet could make an argument to make one, but logistically speaking and like time spending speaking, like if it's a shorter campaign, probably not spending a lot of time just giving to this like building, you know, you're probably trying to be out adventuring, doing the fun stuff.
Right.
And the Bastion sounds like a lot of fun, but
it's definitely
I think a Bastion only session is a sleepover.
Right. Like it's like I don't know. I think if you're to the point of making your characters as invested as to have a home base, I feel like that just lends itself to longer form games. Some challenges that I think are maybe present is tracking all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Tracking hirelings, tracking how long it's been since a Bastion turn, orders. Yes.
I was forming the thought, but I was like, well, that could also could be something the DM's like, this is what you have to pay attention to. Because I'm busy paying attention to the world.
I honestly think it would have to be. It would have to be. There's this, the party member sharing versus individual bastions that I think is just like a smidge confusing and complex.
Yeah.
So
and
again,
the combining, even that part, like talking about combining them.
It does make it a smidge complex and unsure of how to, like me just reading it, I'm like, I don't fully know the right way to handle that.
Yeah.
And then this is going to add some extra prep for some narrative layers as far as like how this Bastion came to be. Yeah. I mean, even some of those Bastion events that we read, it's like your Bastion hosts a festival or something. Well, now we have to talk about what that festival is and and what that festival is for and how it works. And if we pay that money and we get the like clout for it, like what does that do? Like it can't just be for nothing.
I would say, does it drive our narrative? Does it tank our narrative? Like what is it going to do for us? Yeah.
Right. So absolutely. I think those are just some challenges, is tracking that stuff and making sure that you are using it meaningfully and so on. Tips for using bastions. I'm not going to speak from a DM perspective because I don't have experience to be able to like share knowledge on that. But for players to make bastions meaningful, I just think, as with most things in D&D, like lean into it. I think be willing to establish some roots. I mean, if we were going to go back and make Prim's Temple a bastion, without like min-maxing it or like derailing the campaign, like I think you just got to be mindful of those narrative threads and establish them where you can. And then as far as like extra rooms and stuff like that, I just wouldn't think about it too hard. I don't know. In looking at that list of special facilities, I'm just like, pick the ones that you think your character would pick. So like Prim, I'm probably not going to be able to find it now. Prim would probably have like cleric-y stuff, right? If she were picking those things on her own.
Yeah.
The first one, Oh, the sanctuary. Yeah. So there's probably that room that I talked about at the very beginning that's just like a meadow before you get into her like living quarters. I would consider that to probably be a sanctuary.
Yeah.
And so I go to that sanctuary spot, and it's like it's roomy. It has a hireling, so maybe she hires Scratch to maintain the sanctuary. Icons of your religion are displayed in this facility, which includes a quiet place for worship. After spending a long rest in your bastion, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast Healing Word once without expending a spell slot. And then Sacred Focus. When you issue the craft order to this facility, you commissions the hirelings to craft a druidic focus or a holy symbol. So like, yeah, like I would just like pick things that like make sense to her rather than picking things because I'm trying to make it do something for me.
Yeah, I just thought of a way to just like compare a Bastion to something like the magic box in Buffy. So like I feel like you could take a place like the magic box in Buffy, which is like magic shop. And I was just thinking we made Buffy a fighter. And there is a training room in the back of the magic box. So think of things like that. Like you could probably easily think of like the home base for like your favorite shows and like think about the rooms that those places have. Like why do they have them? And like use that as some inspo for your character as well.
Right. Well, and to that point, like if this were Buffy and we were making the magic box, the hireling that goes with one of those places is like an actual person and thing.
Yeah.
I think that maybe is the other part of it. If you're going to do this Bastion, if you're going to actually use it, like make it a living thing that exists and take those Bastion events as opportunities to build out the world. Even if it's not directly affecting your character, it's the world that your character resides in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bastions, man, there's a lot to like absolve with that. Like, I don't know. There's just like, I said absolve, I meant absorb. There's a lot to absorb with that. But it seems like an interesting way to keep people interested and to make your world feel a little bit more real.
And to put a little bit of like a passion project in your fun game that you do with your friends.
Right.
Just adding like layers to it. That's it for us this week. Thanks so much for spending time with us today in the garden, and thanks to Noah Trumbull for the use of our theme music. There's a link to his Instagram in the episode description, so please be sure to give him a follow and stay up to date on his band and music.
If you are enjoying this show, which I hope you are, there's some things that we would appreciate it if you could do for us. You could leave us a review. The reviews help other listeners find us. You could follow us wherever you get your podcasts so that you can find our episodes quicker and easier. And then you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We post clips and stuff like that there as well. So you'll know when an episode drops.
We also want to hear from you. So if something came up in today's episode that made you think or made you go through a tangent and you want to share that tangent, or you just want to say hi, like go ahead and send us an email at chromaroses@gmail.com. We will do our best to respond as quickly as we can. You can also comment on any of our socials, and we'd love to hear your tangents there as well and your hellos. But our email is spelled CHROMAROSES@gmail.com. It's all lowercase, and we can't wait to hear from you.
This has been Chromatic Roses. I'm Caitie.
And I'm Soren. Fight evil, love others.
Can love you, bye.